Hello, and welcome to Advanced Mathematics 1, Unit 5, Part 2, Multiplying Polynomials. By the end of the lesson today, you'll be able to do the following. Multiply two binomials, and multiply a binomial by a trinomial. So basically, just a little bit more advanced version of the first part. All right, the main concept is as follows. Basically, multiplying polynomials just uses the distributive property. So when I multiply two binomials, I have a plus b times c plus d. I can use the distributive property by distributing the a through and then distributing the b through. So I multiply a times the quantity and then b times the quantity. And then I just add it all up and combine like terms. And that's all there is to that. So let's get into our examples. So this first problem, I'm going to start by distributing the first thing through both parts. So I have 2x times 3x. So 2x times 3x is 6x squared. And then I have 2x times negative 5 would be negative 10x. And then I'm going to distribute the second number, which is the positive 1, which is really easy because 1 times anything is itself. So I just get the 3x. It's a positive 3x. And the minus 5. Now all I have to do is combine the two middle terms and then I'm done. So I have 6x squared. Negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7x. And then, oops, minus 5. Almost write a plus there. So there we go. That's it. That's all there is to it. Now, for the second example, we have a problem like this. What this literally means is 7x minus 3 squared means times itself. So you can't just, square the 7x and square the 3. It doesn't work that way. You have to actually do the distribution just like I did in the first problem. So I've got that distribution, 7x times 7x. 7 times 7 is 49. X times x is x squared. And then we have 7x times negative 3 is negative 21x. And then we do the back half. So I have negative 3 times 7x is again negative 21x. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. And then I just combine my like terms again. So 49x squared minus, this would be 42x, combining the 21s together, and then the plus 9 at the end. And that's all there is to that. Example 3 is just another problem like we've been doing. It's just to show a particular situation that can happen, which I'll show you at the end. So we're multiplying the 2x through. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. And then I'm going to distribute the 4 through. So 4 times 2x is positive 8x. And then 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. So you'll notice the middle term drops out. So when you have the same term multiplied together where one's positive and one's negative, that middle term is going to drop out. And you end up with 4x squared minus 16. So if you recognize that, you can skip the middle step, and that's okay. I won't begrudge you that. But I wouldn't recommend doing it until you're very, very comfortable with it. All right, our last problem is multiplying a binomial by a trinomial. It works exactly the same way. I start by distributing the first term through. So I'm going to distribute the n through. So n times n squared is n cubed. Sorry, that's a sloppy 3. N times negative 2n is negative 2n squared. And n times 4 is 4n. Now what I like to do when I do the second part is drop down a line because it makes my life a little easier and it takes up less space on the paper. So I'm going to distribute that negative 3 through. I'm going to start by negative 3 times n squared, and I'll write it under the n squared term. So negative 3 n squared. Negative 3 times negative 2n is positive 6n. And then negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12. And what that does is it lines everything up so I can add things up very nicely and not have a big old long line of terms. So I have n to the third minus 5n squared. 4 and 6 makes 10n. And then minus 12. And there we go. That's it. All done. That's all there is for today. I will see you next time. Goodbye.